Welcome back. We continue our coverage of the aftermath of the crash of AI 171 in which 265 people died. Now, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation is likely to focus on multiple angles with respect to the crash. It is expected to correlate CCTV footage with the flight data recorder of the FDR and the cockpit voice recorder or CVR. They're expected to collate those inputs as well and analyze potential issues during the initial climb phase, including possibilities such as bird strike, engine failure, loss of thrust, pilot input errors, or mechanical or software malfunction. The inquiry team will also be reviewing the ATC recordings, the air traffic control recordings, and communication logs during the takeoff sequence. They'll also be examining maintenance history and pre-flight inspection reports as well. The narrow window of those 27 seconds will be crucial to reconstruct the exact sequence of events leading to the crash. Now, we have some breaking news with respect to the investigations into this particular matter. But what we're also getting to know is that this particular crash of AI 171 may trigger stricter aircraft inspections. Now, following this tragic crash, sources have indicated to your channel that aviation authorities are considering stricter safety and quality inspections for new aircraft before delivery. While these enhanced checks are intended to reinforce safety standards, airline industry sources suggest that this could result in delays in the short-term supply of aircraft to different airlines. Let me go across to my colleague Sabyasachi, who will get us more information about this. Sabyasachi, this is an important development because we are an expanding civil aviation industry. There are lots of orders that different airlines, including Air India, Indigo, among others, have placed with different airline manufacturers. So what sources now are suggesting is that the delivery of this fleet will likely get delayed due to stricter inspection norms that could be introduced. Take us through the details.
Well, that's right, Siddharth. Following the tragic Air India airplane crash, the sources indicate times now that the aviation authorities are now considering stricter safety and quality inspections for new aircraft before delivery. While these enhanced checks are intended to reinforce safety standards, but sources within the airline industry suggest that this could also result in delay in the short-term supply of jets. In fact, the sources within the industry also say that such delays may also pose significant challenges for the airlines already struggling with rising passenger demand and constrained fleet capacity. And sources caution that prolonged disruption in aircraft deliveries could hinder the growth for the carriers as well.
So that, of course, is one of the possible implications should stricter scrutiny of deliveries of aircraft from different manufacturers be introduced. But Sabyasachi, this is, of course, something that many people will say is long overdue. And there's also some concern, however, from within the airline industry that the delayed delivery of these fleet would in fact end up hurting the aviation economy in India. So that's a bit of a dilemma as far as the industry is concerned.
Well, that's right, Siddharth. See, this incident has highlighted the critical need for the robust safety measures and their potential impact on the aviation industry operations. And what the industry sources suggest times now that such delays may pose a significant challenge for different airlines companies, and they have cautioned that prolonged disruption in the aircraft delivery could hinder growth for carriers, especially in rapidly expanding markets. So this concern has come out from the airline companies across the country, whereas the safety check is an important measure that the government is planning to take, where the aviation authorities are considering stricter safety quality inspection for new aircrafts before getting them delivered.
All right, Sabyasachi, we'll wait and see as to how the response is from the different airlines who, of course, have placed orders amounting to billions of dollars of delivery of aircraft. If that gets delayed, how are they likely to respond? We'll have to, of course, wait and see. But thanks for the inputs that you've given us on this developing story. We're also currently being joined by Suren Ratawate, the former CEO of Sri Lankan Airlines, as well, to give us a perspective about what may have gone wrong. So thank you, Mr. Ratwate, for speaking to Times Now. First and foremost, sir, what's your assessment of what could have gone wrong in the first place with respect to AI 171?
Yes, I saw the second video first. It's not the one with the takeoff, the one with the aircraft flying. And my first impression was this was an aircraft on descent because it was obviously losing altitude, but it didn't have much flaps extended. That's the devices on the trailing edge or the rear of the wing. So that was puzzled me. And then I saw the crash and I realized that it wasn't actually descending, but it was in an uncontrolled descent towards the ground. I subsequently saw the takeoff video, and most of the takeoff video actually looked normal. The rotation point was about right for that weight, and even on a hot day in Ahmedabad for the sector length, and the initial climb looked perfectly normal. What we didn't see is quite interesting. We didn't see the rudder, that is the tail, moving at all. And if there was a loss of thrust on one engine, it's what we call asymmetrical thrust, you would see the rudder moving. Well, the rudder barely moved. So from that, we can speculate that if there was a loss of thrust, it happened at roughly the same time. What's also very interesting is the landing gear was down. Now, the landing gear is the first action once you're airborne. The pilot monitoring calls rotate. The pilot flying will pick the nose up. The aircraft will get airborne. And the pilot monitoring will call positive rate or positive climb. And the pilot flying will respond gear up. That's a sequence of events. So the gear is retracted at roughly 200 feet above the ground, give or take. The video shows the aircraft at 600 feet, and the gear is still down. From that, we can come to the conclusion that there was a severe workload issue in the flight deck.
Well, that's still in the realm of speculation as we speak, sir. We'll, of course, wait for the investigations to commence as well. But, Mr. Ratwate, thank you so much for sharing your perspective on this horrible tragedy that's unfolded in Ahmedabad. For the time being, we're taking a short break. We'll continue our coverage of this on the other side. Stay tuned.